I don't want to read in the paper next week another senseless killing. It has to stop.
The message last night from Tyson Gay at his slain daughter's vigil is prompting a city leader to take action today. Hear his plan to help end gun violence in Lexington.
More gunfire overnight leads to a close call for a family.
Lexington police are investigating what they say was probably a drive-by shooting. It sent a bullet through a little boy's bedroom.
And with just 21 days until the election, the race for the White House moves west as Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton prepare for their third and final debate tomorrow night.
This is WKYT News at 5.
He is hoping to find some good in a senseless tragedy. 15-year-old Trinity Gay died Sunday after she was caught in a crossfire of a shootout outside a Lexington restaurant.
Her death has sparked a renewed push to end gun violence in Lexington. Trinity's father, Olympian Tyson Gay, told a huge crowd at a vigil last night it has to stop. Today, WKYT's Hillary Thornton talked to a city leader who wants to help make that happen. She has our top story at 5.
It has been just about 24 hours since hundreds of people gathered at Lafayette High School to remember the life of 15-year-old Trinity Gay. Today, a city leader taking that strong sense of togetherness to work with him here at City Hall.
It was a time to reflect on the young life that had a big impact, a life cut short by a shooting in a restaurant parking lot.
I don't want to read in the paper next week another senseless killing. It has to stop.
That statement at the vigil by Trinity's father, Olympian Tyson Gay, is a message the city's Commissioner of Social Services says everyone needs to hear.
Not only must we come together, we must work to stay together. And even beyond the days ahead, how can we find ways to bond and work towards community safety?
Working together, he says, is key as they strive to make Lexington a safe place for everyone to live.
It's making sure that we bring more people to the table. Everybody plays a part. Despite the troubles that we've had here lately with violence, we're not going to be defeated by violence. It seems that everybody is committed to staying together. And that's very encouraging, even in a trying time like this.
Using partnerships and programs, as he says, the community is only going to be as great for the youth as we allow it to be.
Lexington shares and joins in this pain, and we'll join to make it better going forward.
Ford says the outpouring of support for the Gay family during this all just solidifies what a tight-knit and caring community Lexington truly is. In Lexington, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
Ford says Trinity Gay's school, Lafayette, has expressed a desire for their students to have a voice in this discussion. He says they will have a team there soon to listen to their concerns and suggestions. Lexington police are warning people tonight about a fake GoFundMe page using Trinity's name to raise money. The fake page has pictures of Trinity with her dad. The page says it is raising money for a goodbye party for Trinity. Police say the page was not created or supported by her family, and no one should submit donations to it. Investigators are now trying to track down the page's creator. GoFundMe has now deactivated that page. A makeshift memorial for Trinity at the Lafayette High School track continues to grow. Jerseys, shirts, shoes, and balloons, some with personal messages for Trinity, are hanging from the fence near the track. Before school this morning, many of her classmates visited the site to remember her.
It really is unfortunate that for someone with such a bright future, she couldn't even make it that far. And I just hate to see that because she is so bright, you know, she's one of a kind. There'll never be another Trinity. And I just love everything about her, and I just hate what happened to her.
Funeral arrangements for Trinity Gay are still pending.
Shots were fired overnight in a Lexington neighborhood. A home on Douglas Loop off of Georgetown Street near Douglas Park was hit by several bullets. One even went through a child's bedroom. WKYT's Caitlin Settner talked to neighbors who say gunfire is an all too common sound.
A man visiting the home on Douglas Loop says everyone was asleep when he heard what he describes as metal hitting metal. Now, the home has a number of bullet holes, including this one right here that pierced through a little boy's bedroom. The shooting, neighbors say, happened in the early morning hours between 2 and 3 o'clock.
Many say the shots woke them up from their sleep, and many of those same people say, unfortunately, it's just commonplace for this area. One woman we talked with didn't hear the shots and says the news is hard to hear.
It is. I guess that's something you can't really say anymore. Is any neighborhood safe these days from things like that?
Lexington police is investigating this as a drive-by shooting. In Lexington, Caitlin Setner, WKYT.
And police have not made any arrests so far in that case. A Jessamine County man died today in a bizarre accident at his home on Ponder Way. The coroner says 69-year-old Terry Ferguson was killed when a safe weighing more than 1,000 pounds fell on him. And the coroner says Ferguson and a friend were using a dolly to move the safe downstairs into his basement when they lost control of it. The safe slipped off the dolly and fell onto Ferguson.
A manufacturing plant in central Kentucky says it plans to start production again soon following the recent death of 2 workers. Our county-by-county coverage at 5 begins in Franklin County. A spokesperson for Monoplast says the company is still investigating the 2 workplace accidents. The auto parts supplier is still voluntarily shut down while the investigation takes place. A production engineer died at the plant yesterday from an electrical shock. Another worker was injured. Last week, 2 workers were injured in an overhead crane accident at the plant. One of those workers died from her injuries. In Laurel County, deputies are on the lookout after a surveillance camera caught a thief stealing a wreath from a church. This video from Faith Assembly of God in Laurel County shows a man taking the wreath from the front door of the church and putting it in the bed of a black truck. The pastor of the church has a message for whoever stole it.
We could have made him a wreath. No problem. Some ladies in church would love to do that. So if they're watching, bring that one back. We'll make you one. No hard feelings.
Laurel County deputies say every theft, no matter what was stolen, should be taken seriously.
Oh, very warm out there and windy today, but big changes are on the way, including storms and much cooler temperatures. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is sorting it all out in the First Alert Weather Center. Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys. Indeed, dealing with temperatures today, low to mid-80s. Most of central and eastern Kentucky's summertime feel across the entire area. What we're dealing with right now, again, 80 to 85, most of central and eastern Kentucky on a day that has featured winds gusting close to 40 miles per hour at times. Clouds increasing from the northwest, and eventually later tonight those clouds may produce a shower or thunderstorm. Hour by hour future radar suggesting how we get a little broken band of some action into northern Kentucky late this evening into the wee hours of tomorrow morning. And that is what we will be tracking into early tomorrow. Now, that's front number 1. Front number 2 that comes in behind that has a much better chance for widespread rain as we go into Thursday. Forecast for tomorrow, a storm or 2 around. No, it's not going to rain all day. Southern Kentucky may not get a whole lot. Here's the setup, though, with that warm wind coming out ahead of our cold front. Behind it, the big changes. Get ready to slam into the bluegrass day, guys. Coming up in a matter of minutes, we will expand that hour-by-hour forecast out to include the weekend and show you just how quickly those temperatures tank.
Chris, thank you. The unseasonably warm temperatures luring many people out of their homes and into the sun today. This is the time of year we expect to start pulling out maybe some coats and sweaters and gloves, but temperatures in the mid-80s had people breaking out their baseball bats, basketballs, and tennis rackets. And people we talked to say it's just typical Kentucky weather.
It's typical Kentucky. We have a record high today, and then it'll be 37 in 2 days.
That's right. Just give it some time. As Chris said, we're just a few degrees away from breaking a record today, but temperatures running more than 15 degrees above normal.
Kentucky lawmakers will consider a bill again that would allow homeschooled students to play sports at public schools. Representative Stan Lee of Lexington pre-filed the legislation dubbed the Tim Tebow bill. Lee has sponsored similar bills the last 2 years without success. Lee's proposal would require homeschool students to register with the school in their district before the semester begins. Parents of homeschooled students would be required to transport them to and from athletic events.
President Obama firing back at Donald Trump after the Republican nominee continues his claims the election is being rigged. The latest on the race for the White House is 11 minutes away on WKYT News here at 5.
A new study shows teens are texting less behind the wheel, but it doesn't mean they are using their phones less while driving. The story is later in Better Living.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
We have gusty winds out there today and a summertime feel. Already seeing some leaves that are blowing around across central and eastern Kentucky. Get used to it. It's the fall season. It's just don't get too used to that warm wind, though. Be a chillier wind on the way in the next several days. Right now, I've been watching this live sky cam, some trees out here beside the station. And I'm telling you, I've noticed just a ton of leaves, less leaves on this tree than when we started about an hour and change ago. The leaves are just kind of being taken right off the trees right now because of those 40-mile-per-hour gusts. Big high pressure out in the western Atlantic. Look at that air coming across Florida, Gulf of Mexico, right on into Kentucky. Front number 1 has a change behind it. We go to cooler air, still above normal for the plain states. It's front number 2 that will unleash the colder weather that is coming out of Canada into the high plains. That arrives in here as we go into Thursday. Right now, it's all about 80 to 85 degrees. Defender Radar Network have got the clouds into the mix. A little band of some gusty showers. Thunderstorms going to try to pop here across Indiana and work its way into the bluegrass state. Now tomorrow, you're going to look at this and you're going to think, oh, it's going to rain. No, it's not going to. Southern Kentucky, probably not going to see very much at all. Scattered shower thunderstorm. It will be on radar tomorrow, but not everybody's going to see it. Upper 70s, low 80s. You get under a little more cloud cover, you get under a shower or thunderstorm, you'll be upper 70s. You get a little more sunshine, back into the low 80s. Thursday, everybody gets in on a drink of water. Thunderstorms likely, then we turn a whole lot colder as we go into the day on Friday. Between now and Friday, rainfall numbers generally range from, at least on this snapshot of a computer model, from a half to 1 inch. Higher amounts across the north where you have a better chance of getting in on some rains tomorrow. So here's the current setup. We get a storm system to develop across the Ohio Valley on Thursday, and that means a big change coming for the second half of Thursday. You can see where that front passes through here into the afternoon. Winds become northwesterly, and as that low strengthens across the New England states Friday into Saturday, we're going to continue to see the gradient tighten up here between high pressure to our west, low pressure to our northeast. That's going to, in tandem, pull down that colder air across the eastern part of the country. Hour by hour, long-range temperature forecast. Watch the front, second half of Thursday, 50s to 70s, and then we say goodbye to the 70s. And by the time you wake up on Friday morning, into the 40s, Friday afternoon, 50s on a gusty wind, heading out to a high school football game, 40s, 30s to begin the day on Saturday with afternoon temperatures in the 50s, and then the 40s are around Saturday evening. So we're kind of switching the script on you a little bit. Really nice weather, though, should return this weekend in terms of the sky condition. That'll take us into next week. Into next week, though, closer to Halloween. God, really? Halloween? We're going to be dealing with another big storm system, I think.
Gosh, Sam returns from an amazing vacation. He doesn't know where he is because of all of this weather. So tell us, where have you been?
I was in Italy. I want to show you a picture of some great group of people here.
Nice.
These are WKYT viewers who are on a trip for a week with myself and my wife, Noelle. There we are at the bottom of the picture. From all over Kentucky. Great group of people. I had 2 huge personal reasons for going on this trip. One, Noelle and I are celebrating our 21st wedding anniversary.
Awesome.
Happy
2,
anniversary.
I have deep roots in Italy. My grandparents on my mom's side, the Casalis and Vigneris, were born in Sicily, so I'm second-generation Italian. And boy, did I have a good time. We saw everything, Florence,
That's
Venice,
awesome.
and Rome, and I would love to go back.
You ate your way through Italy, right?
8 and, well, yes, 8. I won't say the second thing I was going to say. But Chris Bailey came through. The weather was beautiful.
Welcome.
And Chris, thank you for your deep connection to Italy.
It's a little out of my jurisdiction, but you know what? We came through anyway, buddy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
But no collisions right now on the circle. We just had another look at Man o' War. It's been pretty quiet this afternoon on Man o' War, as a matter of fact. Just had to double check that. Nicholasville Road looks okay in the Jessamine County, and drive times, we're holding our own, less than 15 minutes to Nicholasville at the moment. To Frankfort, 27 minutes. Now back to you in the studio.
With the election just 3 weeks away, Kentucky's top election official is reassuring voters that their vote will count. That story in 6 minutes on WKYT News at 5.
And a warning for businesses in southern Kentucky. Fake money showing up at some stores. Ahead on WKYT News at 5:30, why some businesses are having trouble detecting the bogus bills.
The latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
The race for the White House shifts out west as both candidates prepare for Wednesday night's third and final presidential debate.
Craig Boswell has the latest on campaign 2016 from the White House.
Donald Trump faced a friendly crowd in Colorado Springs as he tries to narrow Hillary Clinton's lead in the battleground state.
In 21 days, we are going to win the state of Colorado.
But he says the media isn't so friendly, and he blames it for his falling poll numbers.
The press has created a rigged system and poisoned the mind of so many of our voters. I don't believe the polls anymore. I don't believe them.
The latest poll shows Clinton pulling ahead in Nevada, the state that will host Wednesday night's third and final presidential debate. Clinton boarded a flight for Las Vegas. She's been out of the public eye for the past couple of days preparing for the event.
President Obama weighed in on the campaign during a press conference here at the White House with the Italian Prime Minister. The president slammed Donald Trump's claim the election is rigged.
You start whining before the game's even over? If whenever things are going badly for you and you lose, you start blaming somebody else, then you don't have what it takes to be in this job.
WikiLeaks has released another batch of emails from Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta. In one exchange, Podesta emailed Clinton the initial list of potential vice presidential candidates broken into what he called food groups. Those groups were separated by the candidate's race, gender, and profession. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the White House.
The initial list of VP candidates included non-politicians like Admiral William McRaven, who commanded the SEAL team that took out Osama bin Laden, as well as Apple CEO Tim Cook, who would have been the first openly gay major party nominee. A group of Kentucky lawmakers known as the Election Integrity Task Force meeting at the Capitol today. Founded by Kentucky Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes, the task force is fine-tuning election procedures with just 21 days to go until the general election. She responded to comments made by Republican candidate Donald Trump that the election is rigged.
Any comments to the contrary that would suggest this election is rigged or somehow compromised is inappropriate, unfounded, and not in keeping with what our democracy has operated on for over 200 years.
A Republican spokesperson in Kentucky told us he hopes, following recent convictions and allegations of vote buying, that Secretary Grimes and law enforcement officials will take the appropriate steps to ensure the elections are fair and open. A Lexington church calling for an end to the violence following the shooting death of Trinity Gay. Coming up at 5:30, find out about a peace walk that will go right by the scene of her murder.
Another recall for an automaker involving airbags. What certain Hyundai owners need to know is coming up in Better Living. It is time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Teens say they are texting less when they are behind the wheel, but that doesn't mean young drivers have stopped using their phones. Brianna Pitts explains.
Ask teens about texting behind the wheel, and it's clear they are getting the message that it's dangerous.
Do you text and drive?
No. But a new study conducted by Liberty Mutual Insurance and SAD found that teens don't feel the same way about apps. The study found that nearly 70% of teens surveyed admitted to using apps while driving, and nearly 80% believe they are not distracting.
So we'll head off to the left first.
Dr. William Horry is a researcher at Liberty Mutual and took 17-year-old Samantha Garcia for a spin on a test track to show her how distracting it can be. The most common apps used by teens are music and navigation, and our cameras clearly show how the navigation app repeatedly pulls her eyes away from the road.
Even a short glance away from the roadway can have a profound impact on your ability to respond.
I felt like I shouldn't be doing it because it's definitely my eyes off the road and I'm not going exactly straight.
So I feel like I wasn't really looking at the road.
And it's not just inexperienced drivers. Adults are also easily distracted. Dr. Horry took me out on the test track and observed as I was programming a navigation app.
Oftentimes you don't look up for long enough to really get an idea of what you're doing.
Experts say parents should encourage teens to use navigation apps before they start driving and to pull over if they feel they need to use another app. Brianna Pitts, CBS News, Boston.
Hyundai is recalling more than 84,000 cars in the U.S. because a wiring problem can cause the front passenger airbag to malfunction. The recall covers Genesis coupes from the 2010 to 2016 model years. The company says an electrical connector for the passenger seat airbag sensor can become disconnected. That can cause the airbag to inflate when a child is in the seat or deploy with too little force to protect an adult. Hyundai says it has no reports of injuries. Dealers will secure the wiring to make sure it stays connected. And finally, Domino's Pizza is delivering the profits. The restaurant chain reported a 17% jump in revenue in the last quarter. Domino's is a leader when it comes to technology, with customers able to place orders on Facebook Messenger, Twitter, through their Apple Watch, or text message by using a pizza emoji. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.